So I'm a Nigerian. I'm trying to sue the NYPD for taking my home wrongfully, and sue the hospital that where my mother was killed, Bellevue, and sue the immigration. So I'm being harassed by narcotic gangs, inheritance scam gangs, and all kinds of fraudulent gangs. So I beg for money on the street, and as I'm begging for money, they'll be trying to touch my breast, saying ho ho ho, and be calling me mama, and try to force me to some surrogacy arrangement, so that the hope one day maybe somebody will kill me, and then they can then collect child support. So there's a Nigerian guy I used to speak with him. His name is Yemi Asalu. So when I had my immigration case, my mother brought me here, I was arrested by immigration. So when I had my immigration case, and while I was speaking with him, the immigration denied my case. The appeals board denied my case. So I told him, look, I may be deported soon. I met him online. We never really met in person. I was just communicating with him online. You know, I said, I may be deported soon and he's a lawyer. I said, because the immigration has denied my case and the appeal court has denied my case. And then he told me, he doesn't want to talk to me anymore. That he doesn't really it's not really attracted to Nigerians. That he's really attracted to black Americans and Canadians. And he told me he has a Canadian lover now. And it was bad. So I was trying to get him to borrow me money then, or if you can come and represent me. Because he told me he's a lawyer, he's living in Canada, but he wants to come to America eventually. He said he used to live in America with his uncle in Michigan. So when he heard that the appeals board has denied my case, he told me bye, said I should stop contacting him, that he can't help me or whatever. Even though he had promised he would help me then also my immigration case, but he told me no, he's sorry, he really, his new lover will be mad that he's still communicating with me and he doesn't want to, say it's not really attracted to Nigerians at all, and I'm a Nigerian, so it's not going to work. He doesn't want to waste his time. So when I finally got my green card, I posted online. I wrote a letter to Daily News that I got my green card, but my passport, the immigration still has it. So I guess he read my message online. He was Google searching me to find if I've been deported or not. Because at that time George Bush was still president, was deporting a lot of people. So I guess he was trying to find out if I'll be announced in the news as being deported. So instead of finding out I was deported, I found out I got my green card because the letter I wrote to the Daily News asking them to tell me, because they have an immigration lawyer that advises people how to get my passport back. And the lawyer, Alan, I can't remember his name. I think his name is Alan Wernick, told me that just write a letter to the, said he contacted the immigration. They told him I should just write a letter to their district council's office and tell them to return my passport, that I have my green card now. And I did, and they returned my passport also. And some of the money are stolen from me. They returned some of the money also, because my mother gave me money to file for a green card and they stole that money, so they didn't receive it. Even Hillary Clinton office wrote a letter to them, they said they never received the money. And when they returned my passport after I got my green card, they returned some of the money also. I was like, wow, So it was a good thing the Daily News did advise me, So I guess this guy, Yemi Asalu, read my message online. And then he contacted me and told me he wants to be friends again, that his own father just died recently, So I just didn't know how I could, I just didn't know how I could befriend somebody that told me, he's not really attracted to Nigerians and he only likes Canadians and black Americans. So I said it's not going to work, so I was very, so I didn't want to, just, befriend him to be dumped again. So I didn't contact him back really. Then, I think I did commiserate with him over the loss of his father, I just didn't know how to befriend somebody. But I knew it was going to be okay because his father was like one of the richest people in Nigeria, so they left him millions of dollars, and his mother was still alive, and he has a lot of siblings, in America and Canada. So I knew it was going to be okay, he has all his siblings around me. They have the Nigerian money, his father's one of the richest people in Nigeria, So he wanted, I'm sure he inherited millions of dollars, but I was just like, I don't think I want to befriend somebody like that would tell me he's not attracted to Nigerians, that we look ugly, to him and stuff. So that kind of arrogance, and I guess as a peasant, as a poor peasant, I don't have that kind of wealth, So I was like, okay, this is just a waste of time. I don't want to befriend somebody that anytime something bad happens to me would cut me off because I'm just a peasant, that kind of arrogance, So I was staying with my mother. I was standing, and soon after, the police kicked me and my mother out and killed my friend and the guy that was helping with the court papers. So since he said, he was willing to come back to America to work as a lawyer, so I contacted him like if he knows any lawyer in America or if he can help me take the case, just for as a lawyer, just to represent him as a lawyer. And he told me sure I should send him the evidence that he was willing to take the case. And I thought he was going to represent me, and he never contacted me back. So at that time, I went and contacted Eric Garner. So I thought he was still making arrangements to come to America, because I know, even though it says with a Canadian passport, you can easily get a work visa, the approved special work visa, and that he can just sit down. It says he's been studying for the New York bar exam. So I thought he was trying to make arrangements to come to America to represent me. So in the meantime, I contacted Eric Garner to help me, and the policeman and kid Eric Garner, and then my mother's daughters lured my mother to Pennsylvania, poisoned her, and killed her. My mother fled back to New York with the poison in her system, and she had a heart attack. I was having a heart problem. So she went to the hospital in Bellevue, and she was trying to get better. And the daughters had put a tracker in my mother's bag. And then Flora and Polani came to New York, found out the hospital where she was in. My mother wouldn't tell me what the hospital was in. And they were trolling my mother, finding my mother in the hospital. And I told the hospital to lock her up in the mental ward. And my mother got so angry as the hospital disconnected her from a ventilator and was taken her to the psych ward. And the hospital told my mother was so angry, and she died. You could see the horror face on my mother's face as she died. I think they said that hospital also stabs people with an injection to sedate them if they're taking them to the psych ward. You know, so when my mother died, I contacted this Yemi Asalu on the phone that please, are you still going to represent me? My mother is now dead, and he said he's so sorry, he's going to send me money, and he was still acting like he was still going to represent me. And he didn't send me the money. He sent me an email that I shouldn't worry, he's about to send me money, and I was waiting for the money. So whenever I call his house, I had his phone number, his cell phone number, he wouldn't answer, I would give it to his Canadian boyfriend to answer. And his boyfriend would tell me he's not available to talk and will hang up the phone on me. So I will call back again and say, please, and they wouldn't answer the phone. I will leave a voicemail that please, if you can just borrow me money so I can hire you a lawyer. I'm stuck on the street, I'm freezing, my mother is dead, and he promised he was going to send me money. I never contacted me again, So I guess there's a lot of Nigerian gang members that heard that I'm worth a lot of money. I contacted the Nigerian embassy also. So all of a sudden, I started seeing him in America, in this neighborhood. He would be walking around as I'm begging for money, and they would ignore me. And I've been sending messages on calling him, leaving voicemail. He never answered. All of a sudden, I started seeing him following me around. So I guess that's a gang that believe they can just set me up and claim, I had an agreement with him to go and produce children, and then wait till I'm killed in America, and he can inherit all my money and claim, that I had a secret arrangement. I believe, my mother said daughters are moving with a gang in Nigeria, and she has another daughter in Nigeria, Funke. Both of them are colluding, the daughter in Nigeria, Funke, and the ones here in America. I believe a lot of the Nigerian gangs are aware. Even a Nigerian singer, Scales, sang a song a year before my mother died, saying they want to hold me for ransom because I'm young, rich, and handsome. I was a boy then, and he was using an Ronaldo, singing the song like it was about him, but it was about me, because in that song, he was doing the Michael Jackson moonwalk. Because I used to write letters to Michael Jackson when I was a child in Nigeria that he should sponsor me to come to America because everybody would say I look like Michael Jackson. And the post office would send it back to me, say wrong address. So the cassette was, I left the cassette I sent to Michael Jackson and the letter in Nigeria. So I guess some people found that letter and they believe they can kill me here in America and do a Michael Jackson movie about me because my mother's daughter's son, Yinde Cheney Jr. Flores son, looks like Michael Jackson also. And he speaks with American accent, So they believe, they can just kill me in America and use my nephew to do the Michael Jackson movie. And soon enough, because I used to post letters, I used to post messages online that I want to sign up to become a musician also, that if any record label in America would sign me up. I tell them I'm gay. I told them I used to write songs for Michael Jackson, but, so I guess some gangs in America decided to throw me, find out where my family is and stuff, and see how they can set me up and get that song I recorded for Michael Jackson, and steal it. So I believe my apartment has been raided in Nigeria, and they've stolen that cassette, and they want to kill me and release that song behind my back. So all of a sudden, my mother was saying, our daughters are trying to kidnap me and kidnap my mother, and even kill us, put us in mental lockup, and kill us and inherit our lost money. And soon enough, I believe people were snitching, because there was a song written about it, that they're about to hold somebody for ransom because the person's young, rich, and handsome. You know, I think that song's about by Skills called Shake Body. You know, because before that person released that song, I used to listen to rap music from Nigeria. You know, there's a rap music from Nigeria by Tribesmen. The title was also Shake Body. It was released in 1999. So when I came to America, I used to watch that music video on YouTube. You said, you know, so this guy Skills did a remix of my favorite song from Nigeria. I wouldn't call it my favorite. It was one of the rap songs I used because they played it on Nigerian radio in 1999. Because Nigeria has a rap music industry also, so they play a lot of Nigerian rap music. You know, so when I came to America, because they don't play Nigerian music in America, sometimes I go on YouTube, and I've been under immigration. Surveillance since I came to America, because my mother's daughter, you know, they it's a whole lot. Cause my mother won a lot of money in the 1980s, cause she was living in an apartment in Brooklyn that had lead. So she left that money in an American bank, and Arlington Savings Bank, and went back to Nigeria. You know, and she took her daughters to Nigeria with her. But that Bolanle used to beat her up in Nigeria. She said she doesn't like the Nigerian English, and she doesn't want to go to school in Nigeria. So my mother asked her white family to allow them to come back to America with the white family. So they came back America to the white family, and they beat up the white family also. You know, because they said that Bolanle likes to eat in her room, and the white family said, in America, you can't eat in your room. And she was like, why? In Nigeria, my mother lets me do whatever I want to do. And beat up the white family. So they arrested her. So my mother encouraged me to send a letter to the white family, because my mother was trying to get a visa to come here so that she can take custody of them, but the American embassy won't give my mother a visa. So my mother told me to write a letter to the white family. She coached me. I should write a letter to the white family and tell them those daughters are problematic. They were giving a problem in Nigeria also, but she shouldn't let them stay in foster care, that she should go and get them from foster care and take custody of them, because in foster care they're going to be exposed to bad kids. You know, I said they're already bad in Nigeria, and they're going to be exposed to bad kids. So I wrote that letter to the white family. Carla Anderson, you know, and she lives in Pennsylvania, Beaver Falls, I believe, or Kintening, I don't know how to pronounce American words. Here in Pennsylvania. So I wrote out. My mother was one that coached me, you know, because she was just write that letter, and it was the truth. You know, she told me to write that letter. That she doesn't want her daughters in foster care. Those daughters are going to be missing with bad company, you know. So I wrote that letter that, you know, that's why my mother, you know, sent them from Nigeria to America. So I believe that Carl Anderson went and got those kids, got the court to approve her to take custody of those kids from foster care, and presented my letter to the judge. So my mother's daughter Flora told me that after that, Carla came to get them from foster care. While she was driving, she started punching her in the face. Boom, boom, both of them, Flora and Bolanle. And she was trying to get her to have a car accident. That, you know, they didn't like that. She got them arrested because they beat her family up. And she came to get them from foster care. So she decided to jump as she was driving. They were punching her. And the woman was swerving around, almost killed everybody on the road. You know, so she took them back to foster care. So the daughters were angry with me. So my mother was still trying to get a visa. So and so she asked that Bolanle to take money from my bank account, because my mother had $100,000 in the bank account. She didn't know the daughters had already forged her signatures to cut the money out. And she told her to take some of the money out and hire a lawyer and file for a green card for me and my mother to come. That Bolanle didn't file a green card for me, only filed for my mother. I pretended like she filed a green card for me. So my mother came. So my mother first came alone in 1998. You know, and she said when she got here, she noticed that Bolanle was trying to kill her in Pennsylvania, because they had stolen the money from my mother's bank account, $100,000, and they were afraid that my mother would get them arrested. And my mother was telling them to give her some of the money so she can go back to Nigeria and get me, you know. And the daughters won't release some of the money to her. So my mother said she fled Pennsylvania and was living homeless here in New York City. So she found a job and she came back to Nigeria to get me. And she was thinking that the green card the daughter filed for me covered me. You know, and my mother brought me here in 2000. The immigration arrested me, said the green card didn't cover me, that Bolanle should have filed a different green card for me. And my mother told Bolanle to file a different green card for me. And she pretended like the green card she filed for my mother covered me. So this Bolanle got me in this immigration lockup and immigration palaver. they call it Palava in Nigeria. Immigration saga since for 25 years. While I was in immigration prison, I would call this Bologna, leave a message that please come and bail me out of prison because I heard if you have a U.S. citizen family, they can bail you out of prison. The prison officials were telling us that we don't have to be in prison if you have a U.S. citizen family, they can come bail us. So I was telling her, leaving a voicemail in a 412 number. I said she heard the voicemail and she chose not to come and bail me out of prison. She said she will even come to shop in front of the prison. She said they have cheap stores there all the way from Pennsylvania. And so she wanted me to suffer and die. They say she has a narcissistic type of personality. So I finally got back out of prison. So I was staying with my mother in Pennsylvania and New York City here. So my mother was tired of my case. She was like, she can't be paying for my food and paying for my housing because the immigration didn't give me any work papers. So she said she keep coming back to the court. And the court case lasted 8 years. So as soon as I came out of prison, my mother was telling her daughters to give her some of the money they stole from her to take care of me. And the daughter said no. They said the daughter told her to dump me on the street, that she doesn't have to take care of me. She's dumped me on the street. So they told my mother she just be calling the police on me. So on Staten Island, my mother called the police and lied to them that I don't want to work, I don't want to go to school, and she thinks I'm crazy. I just stay home all day. So the police would take me to the mental ward, St. Vincent Medical Center, to test me for mental illness. So I told the doctor there, she was a Sri Lankan doctor, she was female. I said my mother and her daughter concocted a plan because they don't want to help me with money. They have money. The daughter stole like $100,000 from my mother, and they don't want to help my mother with money. And my mother said she's tired of helping me also. So they concocted a plan to frame me as mentally ill so they can dump me in the psych ward and have the immigration deport me in absentia. So the doctor now told my mother that if she ever calls the police to arrest me again, they're going to lock my mother up. So my mother now told the landlord to kick me out of the house, and the landlord kicked my mother out of the house. So we were staying in a hotel room, to make it easier, so that I'll be homeless on the street. So one day my mother told me she's going to Pennsylvania. She told me she's going to Manhattan. So I went to Manhattan with her, and she told me now she's going to Pennsylvania. I told her, no, I'm not going to Pennsylvania with you. She said, we're going to come back the same day. So she wanted me to just, either go with her and she'll kidnap me and dump me in Pennsylvania, or I'll be homeless on the street. So that was her way of trying to dump me. So I went with her with Pennsylvania because she said she's going to bring me back the same day. As soon as we got to Pennsylvania, we went to Flora's house. And I noticed as soon as we got to the house, my mother and Flora came outside and got in the car. So I got in the car. So Flora told me to get out. I was about to get out, she ran over and speed up and hit me with the car, and I fell on the floor. It was on 636 Industry Street, 2001. And there were like a lot of people that were outside, and they were watching what was going on. I thought it was a movie. Then Bolali called the police on me, said, I had a weapon, I was attacking them, and the police came and took me to the psych ward. Because, in America there's discrimination. I don't speak with American English, I speak with a foreign English. They said in slavery, even the slave master used to hire black Americans to beat up the new African slave to teach them to speak American English. So if you speak with a foreign accent, even though you're black, the whites treat you better than someone that speaks with a foreign. If you speak with an American accent, the white police treat you better than someone that speaks with a foreign accent. So there's even discrimination among blacks in America. It's like a elitist and racist society. I'm so sorry, I have to tell it as it is. So they locked me up. It was so unnecessary. I was suspended to the police. They look, please listen to me. I was kidnapped. They said, no, come with us. And they dragged me to the ambulance and took me to the hospital, Mercy Psychiatric Hospital in Pittsburgh, 2001. And I was suspended to the hospital. That please, my mother and her daughters kidnapped me from New York, and they're just trying to get me deported because I have a court case, and they're just trying to get me deported, but locked me up in the psych so I will miss my court hearing. And the hospital didn't believe me. They said, no, your family member would do that too. So your family member, we spoke with your mother's daughter, Bolali, and she said, you're just lying. You're just lying, that you're just crazy, thinking you have an immigration case. You don't have an immigration case. So I called my lawyer in New York, Ralph DiPietro, immigration lawyer, and he called the hospital, spoke with the hospital on the phone, and told her I did have a case, and I'm not crazy. So the hospital released me, and they said they're so sorry. In 2001, so I came back to New York. 14 years later, my mother's daughter did the same thing to my mother. Poisoned her with artificial poison. Then my mother fled, which was having a heart attack. She was about to die on the bus, and she told the bus driver to call 911 in 2015. As she was fleeing Pittsburgh, she was about to have a heart attack. and the bus driver stopped to call 911. My mother told the bus driver to keep driving, because my mother knew if they took her in an ambulance back to Pittsburgh Hospital, those doors were going to come to the hospital and frame my mother as crazy, because my mother said those doors were trying to take our asset, and they're going to, convince the doctor to declare my mother crazy, just like they convinced the doctor in 2001 to keep me in the hospital, Mercy Hospital, Pittsburgh. So my mother was afraid of all that. So she was like, she would be better off in New York, because the daughter may not be able to find the hospital in New York she's in. She didn't know the daughters had put a tracker in her bag. So, so please, my witness would be the Greyhound bus driver. My mother told him she's having a heart attack. He should call 911. And they were waiting for the ambulance to come. My mother started eating aspirin. She's a medical worker herself, a nursing aide. So she said the aspirin relieved her heart attack symptoms, and she told the driver to pull off, keep driving to New York, because she didn't want her address to kidnap her in Pennsylvania and claim she's crazy and lock her up, in the mental ward. So my mother thought she's now safe in New York. While she was in the hospital, she spoke with her daughter on the phone that she's in the hospital. You shouldn't worry about her. She's going to be okay. And she didn't tell the daughters the hospital she was in, because she knew if the daughters came to the hospital, they're going to frame her up as crazy, because they're troublemakers and they're bullies and stuff, and try to kill my mother early, get her upset so that they can inherit the lawsuit money my mother was suing for. The Arugana was trying to help us for, and they prosecuted Arugana. So my mother didn't know our drugs were about that life. They were moving with the narcotic gang. So my mother didn't tell them the hospital she was in. She didn't know the daughters had put a tracker in her bag, and they were able to find her and came to New York immediately. And they started telling the hospital to lock her up. My mother said the daughters were trolling her, and they were, trolling her, and getting upset. And the hospital decided to lock my mother up in the psych ward. Discussed my mother's event. My mother died with a horror look at her face, like, I told the hospital, look at the. I went to the medical examiner's office. I said, can I do an autopsy? But because I speak with a foreign accent and stuff, they said no, because the discrimination was in effect in America again. As a foreigner, they said, we listened to your mother's daughter. She already said she doesn't want an autopsy. We like her. She speaks the perfect English. No autopsy. And the medical examiner officer said no autopsy. So we like your mother's daughter. She speaks the perfect English for like here in America. And no autopsy. And as soon as I arrived at the medical examiner's office, the black American security guard were laughing. Saying, Michael Jackson, you're here to see your mother. And I was like, why are they calling me Michael Jackson? So everybody had known that my mother's daughters killed my mother, hoping I would die also, and then they can then make a Michael Jackson movie, have my mother's daughter's son, Flora's son, Ayinde Cheney Jr., play me in the movie. So I came to America to become Michael Jackson, and I died horribly. My mother died, and I became depressed, and I died also. And and I think the Michael Jackson family likes the idea. They also got his nephew to play him in the Michael Jackson movie this year. And they had, all of a sudden, on a day synonymous with my mother's daughter's son's birthday, Ayinde Jenny Jr., he was born on the 23rd. On July 23rd, 2019, I was begging for money on the street, and the guy came and slapped me in my head. I said, why are you beating me? On Berry driving on 4. I didn't know I was being set up. So he left, the police camera was recording, and the police came and slammed me on the floor, so he was fighting. I said, I wasn't fighting. I said, a guy came and slapped me. And people started recording, and the police was choking me. And they wanted to kill me on the 23rd. So that to send a message to the prosecutor that, look, we intentionally killed this person to make a movie about Michael Jackson, and so that it's for America to make money off of this dead person. So the prosecutor can mess up the case. Even the Arugana's case, they killed him close to my birthday. And the son was going to be helping me to sue the immigration, to sue, and they went and killed him. And they killed him close to my birthday, and the prosecutor messed up the case. So they said criminals always send codes to each other, so that their other criminals will assist them in messing up the case. So this is what I believe allegedly happened. They did the Arugana's case behind my back. They didn't let me testify. If they had a lot of evidence. They said when they killed Arugana, the guy that killed him wore a t-shirt saying Diddy. And that's how I used to listen to a lot of rap music by P. Diddy. And they said that's another way they make fun of gays in America. By calling, say the person likes dicks or whatever. So they said the person that killed Arugana wore a t-shirt saying Diddy. And showed the pictures, and there was a cameraman taking pictures of everything. So like people knew ahead of time that it was going to be killed, and it's like almost like a stage killing. I couldn't even believe it. I thought, like, this thing looks so surreal. I'm like, is it for real the same Arugana? I met, and I killed them in the same place where I met them. So I thought it was a stage killing. Even up to now, part of me still thinks it's a stage killing. You know, I said they were laughing, and the guy that killed them. They said people deal with tragedy by going into denial, then acceptance, then anger. I'm not an angry person. I don't want them to kill me. I said I'm angry, but I just want to get justice. You know, so this is what is going on. And I used to post messages online also. I believe this is how the narcotic gang was content my mother's daughters. I used to post messages online that, around 2011, I used to post messages on the website that I'm soon going to become a famous artist in America. That I used to send messages to Michael Jackson when I was a child. I used to record songs for him, and I put that song in my home in Nigeria. The U.S. Post Office sent me back the song. I recorded for Michael Jackson's wrong address. So I said I'm going to go back to Nigeria one day and get that song and release it. So I guess the criminal gangs in America, got access to my home and stole that song I wrote for Michael Jackson and decided to kill me and release that song. I guess they believe as a gay person, if I release that song, people may not want to listen to it because they said even Michael Jackson when he was alive, he always denied being gay. They said once even George Michael, while his career was hot, he denied being gay until they found him in Los Angeles kissing somebody's penis in the bathroom. They said even Elton John, there was a time he denied being gay also, He said, and I also I used to post online that once I become a famous celebrity, I'm going to marry a billionaire. I said that's going to make me a bigger star because people like, a lot of attention. And as soon after that, Janet Jackson married a billionaire, and she divorced him later. And also, then I was homeless on the street on the subway. She started coming on the subway. She did a show on Jimmy Kimmel that she spent a day in the subway. Nobody recognized her, and she was like saying, the New Yorkers like to keep to themselves that you could be a talented person in the subway and nobody will recognize you. Even Brandy also. I used to say I like her song. She also came into the subway saying the same thing. Said she spent the whole day in the subway, nobody recognized her. So I was like, why are these people acting weird? Like it's like they're trying to mimic me because I used to. They now saw that I'm now homeless in the subway and nobody recognized me. Because people used to tell me I was so talented in music. In Africa, they used to tell me that my song sounds like a hit record they listen to from American artists. I've just composed those songs, I've sing it for people, So and then all of a sudden, all this first stuff started happening. Janet Jackson also came into the subway, said she spent like the whole day on the subway and nobody recognized her. Even Brandy said she spent the whole day on the subway also. So I'm like, okay, this is very interesting. And then Janet Jackson sang a song in Yoruba with Pitbull. I would say I was going to release a song in Yoruba, which is the tribe I'm from. I was like, why are these people trying to mimic me and live my lifestyle? And all of a sudden, the Michael Jackson family said they're using his nephew to release a song, to release his movies, biopic next year, 2026. So I believe, so every day I'm getting jumped. Anywhere I go, last month on a distance for my mother's daughter's birthday, Bolale, that's in Bolale. She was born August 14th. Last month, November 14th, 2025, I went to the bathroom on the number 2 train, Chamber Street, women's bathroom. And they've been sending gang members to jump in that bathroom, And then the police came and attacked me in the bathroom. Somebody said I stole a cell phone. And they decided to beat me up and was trying to kill me. I recorded everything. So I believe they're trying to kill me. I make it look like I have an anger issue, and I was so mad about my mother being killed. I came here to become Michael Jackson, but I became so mad I get my mother's daughters. I needed Jay Cheney Jr. to act as me as somebody that came to America to become Michael Jackson, so they can make more money for the Michael Jackson estate. Since Michael Jackson was broke before he died because nobody wanted to support him anymore because of the child molestation cases, and some people are alleging they killed him so that I believe it was now worth money dead because of the child molestation accusation, so nobody wanted to buy his music anymore. And since he's been killed, his estate has made like $5 billion since his death. So I believe they want to kill me also and make a Michael Jackson movie. So this is crazy, and they're trolling me. I was on the train this morning also. 2 black American females, I believe them, in the connected with my mother's daughter's gang. I said, next time we see in the bathroom, we're going to stab you to death, okay? We're going to kill you. You're not a real woman. Your breast is not real. And on the 2 train. So they want to make me anxious. And then they also call the police on me. And the MTA president, Christo, I see him around this neighborhood. Anytime I want to talk to him, tell me he's too busy. I'll be talking to other people, you know. And he gave me his email. Anytime I send him email, he doesn't respond, you know. So they're planning to kill me in the subway system. They beat me up last month. They beat me up, you know. And nobody's helping in America. And it's like some people love the idea of me being killed and making America just a movie out of me. So this is barbaric. This is genocidal. As soon as I was coming upstairs here, one person was shouting, "You're going home." I know, "You're going home," and you know. And then so they believe it's either one or two ways. Either if they get me upset so much, the immigration will pick me up and deport me, you know, and then they can kill me in Nigeria and then go ahead and release the movie because I'm gay and in Nigeria this gay life is not safe, or they can just kill me here. Another MTA worker or somebody was saying Happy New Year with a, you know, with a mockery voice. So they said that they're going to F me up this New Year. And I heard this Ricardo must sign off a policy that the police should be arresting homeless and locking up in the mental ward. So those, you know, I was using the bathroom yesterday also in Queens. On my way there on the R train, 71st Avenue, Continental Avenue, some kids came on the train and they were causing a mess. The train had to close the train down. And he said they were blocking the door. To make it look like I was the one blocking the door, because the MTA, they banned carts, large carts like this. You know, but I use it as my walking aid. Because when the police arrested me last month, they kicked me in the leg and stuff. So I'm having walking difficulties. And also I'm anemic. So I use this as my walking aid. And under New York law, you know, this is used by children really, so that can't walk. But as an adult, I'm also using it as my walking aid because I can't get a walker. And I use it to carry my stuff also because I get tired all the time and I'm at risk of fainting. So under the law, even though they said they banned carts like this, you know, strollers like this, if you're not a woman with a child, but under the law, I'm using it as my health aid, you know, so they can give me an exception under the American with Disability Act and New York Disability Law, you know. So please donate to my Cash App, NYC Homeless, or to me in person. And I solemnly swear under U.S. perjury laws and other relevant laws and U.S. Constitution that I'm solely seeking non-conditional, charitable, humanitarian financial assistance to my Cash App, NYC Homeless, or to me in person. I'm not looking for surrogacy. I'm not looking for love. I'm not looking for sexual relationship. I'm not looking for marriage. I'm not looking for any membership in the cult, you know. So please, in case anybody claims that, you know, that's what I'm looking for, whatever, they need to arrest them, you know, because there are people always trying to touch me, grab my breast, and say, oh, and try to make it look like, you know, I'm looking for someone to adopt, you know, I'm looking to create a child with somebody, a surrogate, so that in case I'm killed in future, they can then use that child to inherit my estate. And I've been noticing they brought a Nigerian lawyer that I used to be friends with online. Yemi Asalu has been trolling me in this area. So they can then claim, you know, I was his friend online and I told them a long time ago to adopt children from. I don't know this guy. I used to communicate with him online. He's a fraud. He told me he was going to represent me, you know, and he never showed up until now I started seeing him, you know. So and there's been some Africans here that be trying to saying ho and trying to touch my breast and stuff. So I don't have any surrogacy. I'm not a prostitute. And this people need to be arrested for tortious interference with contract. I never told anybody I'm looking for a surrogate. I've always said I'm not looking for a surrogate. I'm not looking for a marriage partner. I'm not looking for love. I'm not looking to be a member of any cult. And in case they kidnap me and claim I wanted to be in a slavery relationship, no, I'm not looking to be in a slavery relationship. I'm not looking to be anybody's master. So that I'm being through, I'm being for. I don't want them to kidnap me in a car. So if in case I disappear, I hope to be posting every day, you know, on the street like this. So if I don't post every day on the street like this, that means either somebody has kidnapped me, you know, and trying to rape me, take my sperm and make children. So, you know, so this Yemi Asalu is a fraud. I don't have any agreement with them or anybody to be following me around and to create a child for me. He told me he doesn't even like Nigerians. You know, so he only likes Canadians and Americans, black Americans. So, you know, and I've been seeing him trolling me. I believe some gangs have fired him. That, you know, we're going to confuse the jury. We're going to claim this person. You know, I think that's what they're trying to do. So, because I used to speak with him online. I used to send him emails and stuff. And as soon as I told him I had an immigration case, he told me he doesn't want to talk to me anymore. He doesn't even like Nigerians. We're ugly to him. You know, and then after a while, anytime I call him his Canadian boyfriend, when I answer the phone, I click, hang up on me. And at that time, you know, my mother just died, and I was standing on the street like this. I was freezing. People were abusing me everywhere. So I was telling him to borrow me money. I didn't care. He didn't care. He put his, and he had inherited millions of dollars. He's a Canadian lawyer. He has a Canadian passport. His family are very rich, so he just wanted me to die. So this guy's not a nice person, and why America will allow people to come here to troll me because he has a Canadian passport. And one day I saw him driving in a car that said presidential, like a Nigerian embassy car. So I don't know why the Nigerian embassy would also hire him. I heard the Nigeria was broke at one point, and they are looking for people to be killed so the money can be shipped to Nigeria. And I think they want to use them that once I'm killed by the police. I've been asking the Nigerian embassy to help me and they don't help me. So I think they want to leave me on the street to be killed by the police, and then they can then bring this guy saying, I've known him a long time online and I told him to adopt children from me. I think that's his whole purpose. So it's been trolling me. It's a fraud. It's a human trafficker. It's Yemi Asalu. And I need the US government and the prosecutor to arrest him. Why is he suddenly in America around this period and he's been hanging out in New York? He's been a Canadian citizen for many years, even though he told me he was going to come to America eventually. So why is it this time period he chose to come to America? Anytime I send him messages, he never responded to me. And it's hiding something. And one day I was on the train and he touched me. He grabbed me. I had a Spanish woman with him. Like one of these nomad. I said, don't ever touch me. Who's giving you my location? And he left at 53rd Street and 4th Avenue on the outtake. This was like last year. So they can get the videos. They have spy cameras on the outtake. So I believe the Nigerian government also wants me dead, like Diallo. They want the police to kill me, and they want a movie to be done about me, and they believe Nigeria will benefit because they can then have this guy claim when I was alive, I told him to adopt children from me. I had a secret relationship with him, and then it would then get on my inheritance. It comes from $1 million family in Nigeria, and but the Nigerian currency has been losing value, so I guess it's attracted to getting more money. So it's a dangerous guy, it's a human trafficker, and the Canadian government, I reached out to their prime minister also because he was putting messages online. I thought he was going to help me, saying, we stand with you, America, or something like that, for human rights and stuff. Because there was a time the police beat me up in 2019. I was trying to get up, and they kept holding me down. And Trump's immigration director, USCIS director, his name was, what's his name again? Nelly Cuccinelli. At that time, I was suing the NYPD for sexual harassment, and they killed my friend in Ghana. And Trump then hired this guy to be immigration Cuccinelli. They said this Trump likes to make fun of people's name, and he was making fun of me through the guy. And the guy said they're going to be deporting immigrants, the poor people that can't stand on their 2 feet. I know. As soon as the police came and knocked me down, so I was begging for money, and the guy slapped me in the back of my head. On a day synonymous with my mother's daughter's son's birthday, I needed children that it looks like Jackson. I said, I believe they wanted to kill me on that day, July 23rd. On a day synonymous with my mother's daughter's Flora's son's birthday, I needed Cheney Jr. He was born on 23rd December, and I was born in July. So they wanted to leave a code out to the prosecutor to let them know we killed this person on purpose, mess the case up. This case will bring money to America because they're going to make a movie about this person. And the money will come to America. It's going to be a blockbuster because they say anything concerning Michael Jackson always turned to a blockbuster since he died. So they decided to kill him. They decided to try to kill him on 23rd so that the prosecutor will get the hint. I will not prosecute my case. And sometimes because I'm the broken prosecutor, he doesn't answer me back. I think his name is Gonzalez. Manhattan prosecutor also doesn't help me. So they are trolling me everywhere, attacking me everywhere. So please donate to my Cash App. I'm freezing right now. So, but this Yemi Asalu is a human trafficker. He's been hired by the Nigerian government to just keep trolling me and pretending I have a relationship with him. So, and the Nigerian government doesn't help me. My passport has been stolen. My green card has been stolen. Even my mother's daughter stole my extra green card because when my case entered in immigration court in 2008, the immigration sent me 2 green cards mistakenly. My mother kept one, and I kept one for myself. So the one my mother kept for me, after my mother daughter killed my mother, they stole that green card. The one I kept for myself when they arrested me in July 23, 2019, it did synonymous with my mother's daughter's son's birthday. I needed Cheney Jr. The police stole my green card. So they rendered me unable to have my green card. I used to work as a home health. I could potentially make $30,000 a year. So they leave me stranded here. At the Nigerian embassy, I called them from the psychiatric hospital, NY Psychiatric Hospital 2019. They told me they're going to come and give me a new passport. They're going to give me money, and they never showed up. And since then, if you have this Nigerian lawyer, Yemi Asalu, follow me around different neighborhoods here in Brooklyn. And I said, I get his job is just to be hiding in the surface and making look like I have a secret relationship with them. and I was ordering it to go and be making children for me, and wait till the police came on the street, and then boom, it will show up, say they had a, they say under the American law, there's something called a parentage by estoppel, whereby if somebody comes to court and claim you are secretly adopted their child or children, the court will formalize the adoption and make the person inherit your estate to the children. So this is an inheritance scam, and the Nigerian government is participating in it. And anytime, and then my mother's daughter's gang also, they attack me on the train. Any train I'm on, they'll cause a problem, they'll try to jump me, and people will run in fear and terror. They're terrorizing everybody, and they said they want the police to kill me and make a Michael Jackson movie out of me. And, the Nigerian government believe they can also, get some money by claiming, I had a secret agreement with this Yemi Asalu to adopt a child from. I don't know him. Yeah, I don't know him that well. The only thing I know about him is anytime I need help, he will abandon me. He constantly, he's an arrogant purpose. And he also told me that he's always been arrogant like that. He's constantly reaching me in Nigeria. So please, and I believe so. So now a lot of people now, they follow me around. They're calling me mama as I'm begging for myself. Don't call me mama. I'm not looking for anyone. I'm not looking to become a prostitute or surrogacy to anybody. So in case I die or I'm killed, only civil activists should administer my estate and get justice for me and my late mother. No family or so-called friend or any friend at all should administer my estate or get anything from my estate. And only civil activists that haven't denied me for the past should administer my estate and get justice for me and my late mother. And donate the rest of my estate out to those suffering in a favor like me, and those being deported by Trump should be prioritized for assistance. And no movie should be made about me if I die. Under the right of sepulchre, you have to respect somebody's wishes. What they say when they're alive after they die. So I don't want anybody to make a movie about me. I didn't grow up for a long time with my mother's daughters. They were always living in America a long time. Even in Nigeria, my mother's older daughter, Funke, she has a different father. And my mother said, when I was a child, she tried to throw me out of the window because she was angry because she has a different father than me. And my mother had arrested by her father's family of well-to-do. They released her from prison, and I never got justice. I've never got justice for anything. As a gay person, I was born a man, now I'm a woman, So please, the Canadian government, and I believe that the Canadian Prime Minister was trolling me at some point. It was like, we will stand with you, America, because at that time, on July 20, 2019, the police came and arrested me, while I was begging for money. The guy slapped me in my head, and then the police came and jumped me and knocked me down, took me to the sidewalk, declared me as crazy. To make it easy for me to be removed from America, deported through other means, called psychiatric deportation. I heard in Switzerland, so they wanted to give my mother's daughter voluntarily guardianship over me so she can finish the job. She messed up my immigration case. She pretended like she was filing a green card for me when I was a child, and got me separated from my mother. She didn't file a green card for me. And they wanted to finish the job, so that's why they declared me crazy in 2019. I heard in countries like Switzerland, they have medically assisted suicide. So they try to keep me so dirty up. They don't let me use the bathroom. Even the two females approached me and said, don't ever use the bathroom. We're going to stab you, okay? So don't ever use the bathroom. So you're not a real woman, your breast is fake. So look at your breast. They're going to punch to my breast with children. So they're trying to scare me from the bathroom. If I dare show up, they call the police on me. They want to keep me so and dirty so that my mother's daughter can get guardianship over me and take me to Switzerland, where they can, they said they have medically assisted suicide in Switzerland. Where they can declare you crazy, and like they framed my mother up as crazy and got her killed at Bellevue Hospital and get me killed in Switzerland. Or even New York Orco is trying to beat them to the game. She said she wants to approve medically assisted suicide in New York also. Because I criticize her a lot. So the racists are jumping over themselves to have me killed to see who's going to do it first. So this is a race to the bottom. FIFA, America is not safe. An African also I was speaking with is homeless. He's from Senegal. He said as soon as I started speaking with him, they robbed him, stole his passport and green card. The police arrested me, stole my passport and green card. When my mother was alive, also said her daughters were robbing her. And even when she was homeless in New York, said somebody stole her U.S. passport also. So they are robbing us. The immigrant FIFA is not safe. And as soon as I contacted this FIFA, they gave Trump more awards. Says promoting peace all over the world. And on Christmas Day, Trump sent a bomb and blow up in the Nigeria, said it was a gift to Nigerian Christians. So I get this Trump post, I criticize him a lot, and he's trying to get me to panic more. So they say in America, if they can make you angry, they can kill you. You see, this is how they kill all these black Americans. They make them angry. From Ahmad Marbury was walking in a white neighborhood, and the white people are following him around and told them to stop. They punched them. He punched and the white people shot him dead. Trayvon Martin was walking in a white neighborhood and the white Hispanic Zimmerman was trolling him. He punched the white Zimmerman, Spanish Zimmerman, Zimmerman shoot him dead. So my mother's daughter's gang, they invade any station I'm in. And anytime I use the bathroom, they call the police on me, say I stole his cell phone. And they're trying to get the police to kill me so they can do the Michael Jackson movie and make the money. And they believe my mother's daughter will inherit the money. So there's like this kind of genocide is going on. I've been contacting Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City. He's like, he doesn't care. So they say some black Americans hate Africans. And when they see you as an African, you're trying to prosper, they will mess up your case. So he instructed his police to be arresting homeless also and locking us up in the psych ward. So that, the police can kill me now and claim, we didn't plan to kill this person, we're just following orders for Eric Adams. So this is like a genocide. Lelita just not helping me also. Nobody's helping me. So please donate money to me so I can hire a lawyer and investigate this. I criticize Trump a lot also. And it said on Christmas Day he sent a bomb to Nigeria. Says for the Nigerian Christians. He said the people in Nigeria are the ones killing the Nigerian Christians. Well, my Eric Ghana was helping me. He was a Christian. A bunch of Christian family was killed. And my mother also, she was a Christian. She's been killed. And the Nigerian church I used to go to, the prophet there, Joshua, predicted that I wrote a letter to him to help me and didn't help me. But he sent a YouTube video broadcast and was saying that somebody used to live in a basement apartment. He said God told him that God is going to lift you up. You're going to be living in a mansion soon. So at that time I started suing the NYPD. So the NYPD was watching me with the FBI because if you have an immigration case in this country, forever and ever, when your case is over, the FBI will keep watching it. So they must have interpreted that message. That message was for me. So I told the lawyers not to help me. And I hid the evidence against the police department in the storage, and I started seeing them. Somebody was putting satanic emblems in front of my storage room, American storage, and soon that storage sold all my stuff off behind my back. So all my evidence I kept there has been stolen. The evidence I kept at Extra Space Storage in Harlem also has been stolen. All the storages to auction all my evidence, all my stuff behind my back without giving me proper notice. So they've been robbing me. So they want to overkill me, kill me with 1,000 cuts, So now they have multiple gangs jumping me. They say they do it in a prison also. If you're a prisoner and you're trying to report the authorities, hold them accountable, they will hire your fellow prisoners to beat you up, kill you, and they'll say it's not the police. The police didn't do it. It was just you are violent and you were overpowered by your fellow prisoners. So so they want to kill me with 1,000 cuts. And they said this requirement also increase the pay of the workers here, the managers. It give them millions of dollars extra a year, each one of them, or something like that. And people are wondering, what job are they doing that's giving them increase? Anytime I try to use the bathroom here, they call the police on me. They have some gang members also that come and fight me in the bathroom. So I believe this Eric Adams also, being a black American, is excited about, the possibility of African being killed and a movie being made that would boost his fellow black American Michael Jackson's image, and to make Michael Jackson look like, Michael Jackson is so huge, even Africans come here to try to become him and they get killed in the process, so they want to say some black Americans hate Africans and they want to pay us back for slavery so bad because they couldn't get reparation. So this is like a genocide / hate, xenophobia, and this Trump is also, I used to go to his casino around 2011 to gamble, and I won a lot of money. They won't pay me the money, and they called the police to chase me out of the casino. So I've been trying to get the money from Trump, and Eric Garner was going to be helping me, and the police went and took Eric Garner dead. And soon somebody lured me to go and stand in front of Trump's house in 2014 around Christmas. Said Trump, they're going to give out presents in front of Trump's house. They said charity is going to come. As soon as I was standing there, Trump drove by 5 minutes later in his car, in his black SUV, and tried to hit me. His driver was the one driving the car. And the FBI was listening in because I don't know if there's surveillance. People were telling me that's Trump trying to hit you with his car. And soon Trump boasted that he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and still win the election. And Obama was investigating him around that time also, that the Russians were assisting him and they've been messing with the US computers because the Russians hate Obama. And Trump was trolling. All of a sudden Trump was trolling Obama, saying, his birth certificate is fake, he was born in Kenya. And the message that Trump said in 2014, even though Hillary was leading the polls, said he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and have them killed and still win the election. And around that time, I just tried to hit him with his car, And also when my mother died, I tried to resurrect her because that TB Joshua was saying somebody's going to die in 2015, and you should pray for the person's resurrection. So my mother was killed in 2015. So I went to the medical examiner's office in May 2015. I want to resurrect her. They told me no. I told them I wanted not to. They said told me no. And then like 2 months later or a month later, Trump announced that it was coming down the golden escalator, saying he's running for office. Making it look like he was coming from the dead. I don't know, because before I went to the medical examiner's office, I had to send an email to TB Joshua right from here. Said I'm going to go. They said I just got the report that my mother died. I got it late at night on May 20th. So I'm going to go there the next day to go resurrect her. I told them to keep praying for me. So they were already aware. So as soon as I got to the medical examiner's office, the black American security guards was laughing. Say, Michael Jackson, you're here to see your mother. So I believe the law enforcement knew that my mother's daughters killed my mother as part of the ploy to kill me also and do a Michael Jackson movie about me. So I filed a notice of claim right away in that 2020. In that 2015, within 3 months after my mother died. I said some strange things occurred. As soon as I got to the medical examiner's office, the security guard was saying, Michael Jackson, you're here to see your mother, And I said, I want them to, and I was suing the city of New York for emotional distress. I said, I don't know what that is about. But before I went to the medical examiner's office, I was here sending an email to Pastor Joshua. I said, this Ricardo paid the ferry workers a lot of money, and they've been trying to keep me this ferry. I guess he doesn't want them to snitch, because I guess they were watching my Wi-Fi, and doesn't want them to snitch, so he wants to fuck up my case. And so it's like a xenophobia war. They form a Team America, to even Lisa James, she doesn't help me, and this Trump also. So they all have a common enemy in me. So these foreigners, we're not going to let them win shit. I've been calling Lisa James, I've been calling everybody, So they may not like each other, Trump, Lisa James, Eric Adams, they may not like each other, but they have a common goal to stop me. So this is a case of racketeering. So Senator Kelly, you said you want to investigate this Trump, that you may be inciting law enforcement to kill people, and you said this Trump told you if you tell law enforcement not to obey him, he's going to charge you with treason. So you, Senator Kelly, said you're afraid of Trump for your life also, that he may be inciting law enforcement to kill people. As soon as Trump said last month he wants to invade Nigeria, gun blasting, after a black American woman used to come and throw me in the bathroom, in Queens, said one day we're going to bust the door open and kick you out of the bathroom. I think Trump must have heard that some black Americans are making threats. And last month, to encourage these black Americans to do it, to go ahead, he said he wants to invade Nigeria with gun blasting. He said that Nigeria is a disgrace of a country. It's a Christian, but it's a disgrace. I used to put my moniker online when I used to talk about Michael Jackson stuff. It was Nigeria. I used to use the word Nigeria. I used to call myself Nigeria Africa. So they said that Trump calls people's nickname. They say he calls Rubio, short hands Rubio. He gives people nickname. So I guess this Trump was using an innuendo when he said he was going to invade Nigeria last month with his gun blasting and said they were going to take Nigeria over. It was me was talking about. And the police came and jumped me on November 14th, a day synonymous with my mother's birthday. My mother's daughter's Bolali birthday. So they're relying on this Bolali to help them do the cleanup, because they know she has it in for me. Because she's mad that, my mother, she probably didn't know my mother told me to write a letter to that Carla Anderson, telling her that my mother, that she should go and get her daughters from the foster care, because she's been trying to come to America and they wouldn't give her a visa. She didn't want those daughters to be in foster care because she was afraid they were going to learn bad habits, move with bad kids, with more bad kids, and it's not the right English, badder, So I'm just trying to show I'm in my right senses, in case, because the black American women that came to Germany said, we're going to stab you in the bathroom, okay? Don't ever use the bathroom. We want you to soil your pants. Don't ever use the bathroom, so we're going to stab you. You disobey us and you watch. You're going to die, okay? Everyone listening. Everybody was fighting. And I asked the people, did you hear what the people said? Everybody said, no, we didn't hear. We didn't hear nothing. Everyone was so afraid. And there was a guy that was touching his penis, and he was saying, yes, he heard, and he changed his mind again. So they're terrorizing people, my mother's daughter's gang. So the MTA, you're running a transportation system whereby they're frightening people, and none of you want to help me because you believe helping me will make me get money, and you're over your dead body. Did you allow an African to get money in America? So, but you're promoting terror, and International Criminal Court needs to investigate this. This is wrong. My mother tried to get justice, went to your police officers, went to your New York State Assembly people. They wouldn't have been. This man, Danny, I've been contacting you also. I saw you here. You came here also. You said you want a scavenger hunt, and you didn't answer me. And you've been posting messages, scream, and things like that. Even your mother on Instagram said, "Baby, So I don't know if you think it's funny, man. Danny, you're born in Africa, also. You see, they want to kill me and claim I adopted so many children and have the children inherit my estate. So that, because my original wish is that if I'm dead, they should give any money I have for justice for me and my late mother, and donate the right to charity for immigrants. So there's an American gang to block me from my wish coming true. And you, man, Daddy, you're not helping me either. You're joined with the American gang. You're an assemblyman, in Queens. And I reached out to you some months ago, when they tried to kill me in the bathroom in Queens. And you're not helping me. There's a plot to kill me, and any money I may win. I'm trying to sue U.S. immigration for arresting me when I was a child. My mother had a green card, and I was qualified to come under her. I believe, because America is not supposed to separate a mother and a child. And they don't want me to get the money, and they plan to kill me in America. And you, man, then because you claim you're progressive, you love Gaza, you want to arrest Netanyahu, and I saw you here in front of the MTA. There's a camera here, you can't deny it. You walk past me, you're very tall. I said, "Sir, can you please help me?" And you ignored me and walk past me. And I see that you posting messages online recently talking about cream, and stuff. And your mother posted the message after you posted a video of her saying, baby. So I'm not in any relationship with anyone, whether you, my dad, or anybody that asks you to adopt a child for me. In case I'm killed, anybody say that I signed an agreement with them, secret agreement, whatever, is a lie. I solemnly swear under United States perjury laws and relevant laws and other laws, U.S. Constitution, that I'm solely seeking charitable, non-conditional charitable financial donation to my cash app and my or to me in person. I beg for money on the floor. Anybody sees me, and I'm not looking for surrogacy. I'm not looking for marriage. I'm not looking for membership in any cult or gang. I didn't sign an agreement with anyone to produce a child for me or to put me in any gang or whatever. So in case anybody comes up with any false narrative like that, I arrest them for tortious interference with contract, for fraud, for genocide, and all that. So I'm watching to see how this goes. But some of these people are stubborn, and they believe an African life like me is worth nothing, and they can take me on dead or alive and make sure I don't get nothing. So I don't care if you all unite that a Nigerian like me shouldn't get nothing. You, man, Daniels, you were born in Africa, and shame, you may be fooling the people, but what goes around comes around. And one day this is going to be opened by the whole world. So you may have your little American passport party, that all of you with American passport are busy in a Nigerian like me. Mandani, you may be covering up. This is getting serious. Some black Americans invaded the train and were terrorizing people. So don't ever use the bathroom. We're going to stab you dead. So we want you to be soiling your pants, so that my mother's daughter can then come and say, I'm so crazy in America. She wants to take me to Switzerland. They have medically assisted suicide in Switzerland and kill me there and get the money. I guess she can then say, I told her secretly when I was a child or something that she should be adopting children for me. And get the money for herself. So this is child trafficking, and I've been seeing her coming around this neighborhood, following me around. When I come, I'm like, is she working for the FBI? So I guess they're trying to frame me up that, I was giving my mother so much problem, and they're trying to do reverse psychology, and that's why she died of a heart attack, and the police had to kill me in the bathroom because I was giving everybody in the subway problem. Everybody in the subway wants to fight me. Even on Christmas Day, I was standing waiting for the train, and the white woman came and pushed myself on the ground, and then a white guy and a Spanish guy were walking around the subway, they were about to jump me. Then an MTA worker started running towards me. See, you're trying to kill us. I was recording, I was like, what's going on Christmas Day? And it was, I'm going to call the police. Then I found out later, Trump bombed Nigeria, said it's a Christmas gift for all the Nigerian Christians. So we should thank him later and stuff like that. So I guess they're all trying to get me angry because they said the best way to kill a black person is to make them snap. Whether it's Trayvon Martin, whether it's Ahmaud Marbury, whether it's George Floyd, whether it's Arugana, once they make you angry like that, and the police can then take control over it. And this Trump won, that he wants Nigeria to be taken over. It's a disgrace of the country. And I believe I'm the one who's given the nickname Nigeria. So Senator Kelly, please help me. My life is not safe. Even though it's a Sunday morning, I don't have any other ulterior motive. I'm not looking for any religious cult to say, to claim in the future that this is a secret message to a religious cult to another children for me, even on Sunday morning. And the TB Joshua, before he died, said God told him that anything you do in the morning will be successful. So they're trying to claim. So my mother just killed my mother in the morning. My mother said they've been trying to kill her in 1998 because they stole $100,000 from my bank account, and my mother was trying to get them to give us some of the money so she can come back to Nigeria and pick me, and the rest wouldn't give her the money. And so they were trying to kill her instead. So my mother ran away from Pennsylvania as soon as she arrived and started being homeless on this. In New York, went to a shelter, but there's one black American woman tried to beat my mother in the shelter. So my mother came to live here on Staten Island with a Nigerian family. My mother said the wife of the guy didn't like my mother because the wife didn't have papers and my mother had papers, and she thought the immigration may be attracted to the house because so got rid of my mother wanted to live with another person. So she finally rented a place and went to Nigeria and picked me up, and she thought I was covered under a green card that daughter filed. When I arrived as a kid, they arrested my JFK, said that bloody didn't put me into the green card application, and that bloody set me up for real. She wanted me to suffer because I had the nerve to expose her that she was very violent. She would beat up my mother when my mother brought her to Nigeria in 1988. Said she doesn't like Nigerian English, wants to go back to America. And so my mother arranged with the fire family to take her to America. As soon as she got here, they said there was a fight in the house, that she likes to eat in the room. Yeah, she likes to eat in the room because my mother would let them do anything they want. And she would beat me up in Nigeria, beat up our other sister, Flora. So my mother lets her have anything she wants. She's very violent. She would leave my mother bloody. She likes to kick people. And there's this black American basketball player, Damian Lillard. He's been trolling me online also. So as soon as Eric Adams became mayor, I think Damian Lillard was celebrating. In 2021, and Eric Adams won the mayorship. So I believe this Damian Lillard, he was like, yes, we can now kill this African. Wow. So I didn't know what was going on in December 2021. So I was making a phone call. I was trying to connect my phone. I was using the public phone, trying to connect my phone to Singular Wireless or Simple Mobile. Because since my mother was killed, anytime I'm talking to a lawyer, I would get jumped. Somebody's hiring kids to beat me up, punch me. So in Harlem, around 2017, I was talking to a lawyer in Morningside Park in Harlem. I was telling the lawyer that my mother's daughter killed my mother. I need a lawyer. As I was talking, some kids came and hit me. Boom! So I called 911, and one of them over there behind. So I recorded that kid over there behind. I said, why did you do that? He said, and the kid over there behind looks like Eric Garner. It was a fat, chubby kid. I said, what is going on? Am I being set up? Why did you have a kid that looks like Eric Garner? Jumping with other kids. I didn't do it. The other kids did it. I said, what school do you go to? I had a school bag on. He told me the name of the school, so I called 911. I said, okay, wait, let me call 911 so you can tell the police. But he ran away when I saw the police was coming. So when the police arrived, I told them, look at the picture of this kid. I said, look, his fellow kids beat me up as I was calling 911. I said, I don't know what they hit me with, but my eyes were seeing stars. As I was saying, I said, I was knocked down on the floor. And the police told me, it's your fault. This park is dangerous. You should expect something like that. I said, we're not going to help you. But they took a police report and drove off. I said, can you go to that school and arrest? They said, no. Say you got what you wanted. They said this park, Morningside Park, is reserved for criminals. So this afternoon time, I didn't know that. So it was like 3 p.m. and stuff. Said no, but said they even kill people. So you're lucky. Next time you come, they're going to kill you. Say this park is reserved for criminals. So apparently my mother's daughters, they are affiliated with this Damian Lillard. He's also friends with a Nigerian basketball player that was born in Greece, and has a Greek passport. I only have a Nigerian passport. So they are forming a Western cult, where people that have Western passport, I only have a Nigerian passport, they are bullying me, So in 2021, I was making a phone call. I just bought a phone in Target store, and the Target store, I went there and paid them money for the phone, and then they pretended like they activated the phone for me. The guy told me you can't activate the phone for me because he said the store's about to close. I'm like, I already paid you for the phone. I said, no, you go activate it yourself. But he gave me a receipt and he scanned the phone. So I was trying to activate the phone, and the Target and the Simple Mobile told me the phone doesn't show you bought it. It doesn't show it's been sold. So I'm like, did somebody, deactivate me from my phone from the computer after they logged me in as paid, as the phone has paid, So I was speaking to simple phone around December 2021. As I was speaking, some black American kids came and kicked me, bumped into me and kicked me. Women. So I was like, what is going on? I started recording them and started kicking me. So I ran across the street near the Atlantic Avenue Blacklist Stadium basketball stadium. I ran across the street into a store owned by a white guy, and the white guy called 911, and the kids brought a metal pipe and bashed the window. You know, and they bashed the window, you know, and so please, if you're listening to what I'm saying, I'm being attacked in America, I'm a Nigerian. Please tell everybody on the phone what is happening to me. You know, so in 2021 December, you know, so the kids chased me across the street into the store near the Atlantic Avenue Barclays Stadium. So the white guy called 911. The kids were crashing his window, you know, the door glass, and trying to force their way in. You know, and they locked the door to keep me safe and called 911. And when the police arrived, they saw the kids holding the metal pipe. I was recording everything, you know. So I told the police. So I told the police to do the police report because the police wouldn't arrest the kid. They were just listening to the story, and the police told him. You know, I said no. I told the police, please give me a police report. Give me a police report also, because you can all deny this incident. And the police said, we're not going to give any of you nothing. So you go your way. So the kids go your way, and the police left also. You know, and soon after that, Eric Adams became mayor 2022 and said they're going to be arresting homeless, that we're all crazy. So he's trying to help my mother's daughter kill me, I guess, to get bribe. They say he was getting bribe from Turkey, you know, to get his own bribe. So this Lemon Lillard then posted, I was following his account, it was on Wallow, and they have a lot of them like that. They tried to lure me. They said they love these traffickers will try to lure you by pretending to be charitable. So this Lemon Wallow interviewed him and said he comes from a poor family. Now he sells sneakers and stuff. He's working for the NBA as a basketball player. And he said, so he was pretending to be charitable. So I contacted him right away. Like, hey, can you please help me, sir? And he wouldn't respond. I must have sent him multiple messages. I said, later on they will kidnap you and claim you are the one that was bugging them and you wanted to have a relationship with them. And if you end up dead, they'll claim, you know, it was just accidental, that you are more interested in them than they were in you. They said PDG allegedly was doing that to people. So they try to entice you with promises, you know, by looking charitable. So I was contacting and I used to have a problem getting shoes because my feet is like 13 feet. And I can't afford shoes, so I'll be wearing dirty shoes and stuff. So I was trying to get him to give me money, and he wouldn't give me nothing. Then he started making jokes, saying, congratulations, Thunder Legs. So at that time I had a Thunder VPN, because I was noticing all my videos, sometimes people hack into my phone and delete my video before I could post it online and stuff or save it. So I got a Thunder VPN, it's free. Apparently that Thunder VPN wasn't stopping these hackers. You know, and another person that used to hack into my phone was my mother's daughter's husband, Flora's husband. And they sent me like naked picture, you know, in 2011, as I was writing emails using the public library, writing emails to Flora. All of a sudden, he sent me a naked picture. I thought he was just joking with me, you know. So I clicked on the link, and my email got hacked. All my emails were stolen, you know. So I contacted Yahoo, that a U.S. soldier who was married to my mother's daughter, Flora. You know, hacking to my stuff. I told Yahoo to help me get him arrested because the police don't be helping me. And Yahoo told me, no, we don't do that. And I said, when Nigerians defraud people, the police always subpoena you, Yahoo. And I said, you know, so, and for like 4 years later, they put a track on my mother's bag, poisoned her as my mother fled to a New York hospital from Pittsburgh. The doors found her in the New York hospital and got her killed. My mother was trying to hide from those daughters because, you know, they were tracking her, following her around. You know, if Yahoo had helped me in 2011 to arrest my mother's daughters, and Ayinde for hacking into my phone, for the New York Public Library, he sent me a link. I used to go use the public library to send an email to Flora, you know, and he hacked into my phone. I guess because that Flora used to make gay jokes, calling me gay, and that Bolanle used to make fun of gays, and said, you know, I said our dog Bailey likes to sniff other male dogs' anuses, you know. So so my mother said they were very jealous. I was about to win money because they were very jealous. They couldn't forgive me that I had the audacity to write a letter telling the white woman the truth about them, that they were very out of control in Nigeria. My mother told me to write a letter to that white woman to go and get them back from the foster care. And so the white woman went to get a call order to get them back from the foster care. And so the daughters who heard, you know, I wrote a letter, and that friend told me that when she got them from foster care, as she was driving, they jumped her in the car. punching and beating her up, and she was struggling. It almost caused a huge car accident, and she returned back to foster care. You know, so those doors have always been. And my mother said that daughter Flora put her in the backseat of the car. Once I hit somebody's house in 2014 to scare my mother to death. I said they had to call the. I also had to call 911, call an ambulance, and they didn't arrest that daughter Flora. So and you know, that daughter Flora hit me with a car in 2001 as my mother kidnapped me and took me there, and I was trying to get back with my mother, get in the car to come to New York with my mother, and that Flora drove away, hit me with the car. So those doors have always been violent. You know, beating up people. So this demon leader was celebrating the violence of these daughters, and had I believe he had the Black American girls that were kicking me as I was trying to find out why my phone I bought from Target store has not been deactivated by Target store after I paid them for the receipt and gave me the receipt. So to distract me, they sent some Black American girls to be kicking me, and I noticed they were only using their leg. So and they were recording me, you know, to troll me and to embarrass me, because I've always posted online that I want to be a musician. So I guess to silence me from ever talking about my mother's daughter. So they were, you know, so this demon Lillard hired a bunch of kids to beat me up, so that if I ever become somebody important, I was always boasting online I'm going to become a TV show host. I was going to become a famous musician. So, and they wanted to extort me, to give them money. That, you know, say, you know, stop talking about your mother's daughters and give us money, otherwise we're going to release the embarrassing picture about you. And those kids were beating me up, kicking me with their leg, slapping me. You know, I was crying. You know, and then I called 911. I said, please come save me. Some Black American kids are beating me up. And the kids said, we're not Black Americans, we're Trinidadians. You know, and they were kicking me, and I was crying. So they were recording me as I was crying. You know, they had a like Jamaican guy was crying. I said, can you please help me? So they wanted to use that for extortion. You know, because I know anytime I'm calling on the phone to find a lawyer, they'll hire kids to beat me up. I've been wondering what's going on. Why are they hiring kids to beat me up? And I decided gang members in America do that. They said because if they use a kid to kill you, the kid will get a slap on the wrist as opposed to using a kid. So a lot of these gang members prey on kids. You know, so in 2021, so I guess this gang already knew, maybe they bribed me, got them. I don't know, say they collect bribery from Turkish government. So, you know, the kids were jumping me, and cars were swerving. You know, I guess the modus operandi of my mother's daughters is violence, car violence and stuff. You know, so the kids were chasing me around, and the cars were swerving, boom, boom, boom. Little babies in the car. Some of the babies, they bashed their head on the car door or whatever. You know. So I ran, you know, as the kids were beating me up, they had a metal pipe and stuff. I ran into a store and they were bashing the store door. So the white guy called 911, December 2021. I called 911 also. And the police came, and when I asked for a police report, and the white guy asked for a police report, the police did this. And I told them, please, we need a police report. I said, why are you talking in silence, sign language? Are you a member of a gang? Are you a mafia? So please speak English. I'm recording you. And the person was like, get out of here. We're not giving no police report. You know. So everybody leave. We're not giving no police report. You know. And the guy was even telling the police that he needs to. The kids smashed the window of his store, broke the glass, he needs to file insurance. And they scared the guy, said, no, we're not giving no police report. You know, are you crazy? So the police, their body language, their speech showed they were aware, they were conscious of their guilt, that this is a gang attack, and they've been under instruction to cover up the gang attack. You know. So then Demon started trolling me to let me know he was irresponsible. You know, he started saying congratulations Thunderleg. He started posting messages. I was following his account on Instagram. He started saying congratulations Thunderleg. And that's not real American English, because, you know, Thunderleg, that's like a phrase they coined. You know. So he was trolling me because I had a Thunder VPN, and that Thunder wasn't working. VPN wasn't working. It was still able to hack into my phone. And my mother likes to kick people. My mother said she learned Taekwondo or something in the Bronx High School, and she used to beat up people in school. You know, before she brought the daughter to Nigeria, and the daughter used to beat her up, so she sent her back to America. You know, it's a mess. And finally, the daughter killed her. You know. So this is an extortion racketeering gang. Like my mother was suspecting that her daughters were moving with a gang. They're into killing people for money. So this Demolina is part of the gang. And I heard last year, some of those kids surrounded an Hispanic boy that was sitting in front of Target store, and they jumped the boy. And the boy was trying. His name is, I believe that boy's name is Michael Hernandez. He was from the Bronx. He didn't know that there was some kid gangs being run by this this narcotic gang, and they'll just jump people. They'll jump. I used to call the police on them, and the police won't help me. So many times after that, they've been jumping me. Before they killed this Michael Hernandez, they said he was sitting in front of that Tiger store, and they were using civilians for practice on how to extort. I believe that the adults training these kids were teaching them how to carry. They were raised like they were raised an army, maybe to take over America or whatever. They were using these kids as an army, and this Eric Adam was helping them keep the secret quiet. I guess to raise a black army. So I said, yeah, but this Spanish boy, it was like 20-something-year-old Michael Hernandez. He was sitting in front of Tiger store, and I guess they decided to use this boy as their test dummy, and they sent these kids to attack the boy, the male Michael Hernandez, and I guess he was trying to defend himself, and they stabbed him to death. And his mother's been crying that she wants to know what is going on. I've been trying to reach out to his mother, and I'm busy. Don't distract me. I've been trying to reach out to his mother, and there's no way to reach out to Michael Hernandez's mother. And I reach out to the Brooklyn prosecutor, he ignores me. And then this Damon Lillard has been making fun that congratulations Thunder Leg, So I believe as soon as those kids kicked me, they it was coined the phrase Thunder Leg, which is not American English. So right now, last month I was using the bathroom, and they've been using gang members to stop me in the bathroom. So if you don't ever use the bathroom, want to leave you dirty, to give my mother's daughter an excuse to take me away from America. So I'm so crazy. I'm walking around soil. America's not good for me, and send me to Switzerland and kill me there where they have medical assisted suicide. And even Governor Oko is trying to beat them to the case, because sometimes it may be difficult to get I don't have a passport anymore, and it may be difficult. So she said she wants to approve medical assisted suicide for New York State by next year. And they've been trying to frame me as crazy. This guy also is saying he wants homeless locked up, that the homeless are crazy. And they said that there's this guy, an Australian journalist, that that they framed up as crazy also. I can't remember his name right now. They said he was releasing classified documents about American military. So he went and hid in the Peruvian embassy in England, as the Americans had the arrest warrant for him. So I got an asylum. But Biden administration the president was changed in Peru. So the new president, they said asked the embassy to call the police on him and claim he's crazy and needs mental help. So as soon as he went to the hospital, the police went and arrested him. And they were going to extradite him to America, but they were afraid maybe when he gets here, he may use my torture by the U.S. government using gangs, because I've been trying to sue U.S. immigration, and they now allow gangs to attack me, kill my mother, and so I guess they were afraid, because he's an important journalist, he knows a lot of secret about America. So the Biden administration said they're not going to extradite him. They're just going to let him go for free. He just has to keep quiet and not say anything else about America or whatever. I can't remember his name now. He's now back in Australia, since like last year. Julius Hassan, that's his name, the Australian journalist. And then I heard the Damon Lillard works for Nike, and I heard that Nike, they hate Africans because they say a lot of Africans are copying their product and selling cheap version of their product. I said this Nike also uses sweatshops where they use Chinese sweat factory workers, pay them cheap money to make Nike shoes and stuff. So in places where I get jumped at, like the 34th Street Penn Station, Nike also sponsors the Nigerian soccer team. So Nike put a poster on 34th Street Station, say just do it. And they had a guy playing with a soccer ball hit in his head. I said just do it. They put a poster sign on 34th Street Penn Station, said do it again, or something like that. And the guy was playing with it. And I noticed the Nigerian soccer players, they're sponsored by Nike or Semian. Anytime he's playing now, he'll be touching his head. So it's like, I think he's trying to snitch on Nike. He's wearing, and I don't know, why they don't want to help me in person. And I saw him on the train. Around COVID, he came to America. He came and sat in front of me. I used to send him messages, you know, and he sat in front of me. So I don't know him personally, but during the COVID between 2020 and 2024, Osemian came to America. If he used his real passport, I saw him on the train. He came and sat in front of me. And I used to send it because I felt, he may have been sending me messages online or something like that. So I was like, so I was sending messages, but he won't send me no money. Then I saw him sit in front of me. So I don't know if he was trying to traffic me away, but they said some traffickers will try to get the trust of the victim. And when you're comfortable enough, but I guess they all know I'm under FBI surveillance, so they don't want to talk to me. They just want me to follow them in secret. Even I go on the Nigerian website, Neverland, and one person started posting messages, and it was saying touch and follow. That's Monica. And this Nigerian guy that's been stalking me and gave me a salute. As I was sleeping, came and touched me. I don't know if they're sending secret messages to me. And one guy was following me around in New Year's, I think 2024 New Year. He was kind of sign that he's deaf and dumb, but he wants me to follow him. So they don't want the FBI surveillance to pick me up as they're kidnapping me, so they want me to follow them. So the Nigerian government and some of these kidnappers are trying to kidnap me and rape me and then kill me and then sue the immigration and sue the NYPD on behalf of the children they raised. Even there's this black American rapper, Jim Jones, has been coming around me. He's now friends with that Demon Led. They released a song together. And he released a song like last year or this year. He said, we are too large, they can't handle us, so we send our women on them. And one day I was sitting down by Chambers and Greenwich Street. Late at night I was sitting down on a chair, and this white woman came and was touching me. I said, please don't touch me. And she took off her coat and wrapped it on me and was touching my body like she wants me to get up and follow. I said, no, I don't go that way. But I saved the coat in my bag and wanted to steal that coat from me. And then this Jim Jones started singing, we're too large, they can't handle us. That's why we set our women on them. And also a guy took me home and raped me. In 2020, the MTA locked up all the bathrooms. So I guess the American government and the people, some of them, they are part of the Team America. They don't want me to sue immigration and take the money. So they rather just engage me, make me into a forced marriage, and steal the money and kill me in my sleep. So in 2020, they lock up all the bathrooms in the train station and said because of COVID. So I was begging before I trained that, look, I need the bathroom to use, I have diarrhea. I said, if anybody can let me go home with them, I'll pay them money. Because I beg for money on the street. I was telling people I'll pay them money to let me use the bathroom. And nobody would allow me to go to their home. They told me, go to the shelter. I said, in the shelter, I get abused in the shelter also. I said, they don't let me, anytime I try to use the bathroom anywhere, if they're sending people to be jumping in the bathroom, especially in shelters and stuff. So nobody, and 2 hours later, a guy showed up. So this man had diarrhea, medicine, I had diarrhea for real. So this guy showed up, so I should follow him to his house. I said I would be paying him to let me use the bathroom, said it's okay. When we got to his house, he told me he wants to get married right away and stuff. I told him no, he started punching and beating me. And he told me if I dare escape, the police, he said he walked to the police and the police will eventually kill me on the street. So I called the police on him, and the police didn't arrest him. They saw the blood on my face, took a police report, took a picture, and kicked me out of his house. Even though Governor Cuomo signed the law at that time that due to the COVID, the police shouldn't evict anybody. But if somebody's committing a crime, they should arrest the person. And I told the police that I arrest this guy. You saw him that left my face bloody. And I said, no, it's his house.